So, arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for episode 2 of It's Always Bloody in Doskvol. This one, of course, as you can see from the title below your screen, is called The Choir in Glass. If you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do so is by joining us over on Patreon, link in the description below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Previously, on Always Bloody in Doskvol, the Harbingers settled into their ruined opera house lair in Six Towers, destitute and desperate for coin. They sought out their contact, Attican, the unstable occultist, who revealed 2 potential leads, the Stealer of Dreams relic and a shipment of spirit bottles. After debate in their newly christened war room, the crew chose the time-sensitive spirit bottle heist in the catacombs beneath Charter Hall as their first score. So we cut to the aforementioned war room, where we see this makeshift table, large map, low-hanging chandelier, the vanities with little, half burnt all the way down candles, sort of backlighting or side lighting the edge of this table, sparsely lit candles in the chandelier, as the 4 of you hover over a map of Doskvol as you plan your engagement. So this is our first score here. So the score breaks down in a number of steps. There is the gathering information phase, which is completely optional. You can go in blind and or guns a-blazing. But I encourage you to gather information. So there's the gather information phase, where each of you gets 1 action to set a scene, perform the action, and possibly gain intelligence for this score. The next phase of that is for you to give me the score details. So if you look on your character sheets, I believe, right below your inventory, so like middle rightish, at the bottom, right near your friends, it should say planning and load, and then a bunch of things. So there are several kinds of scores: an assault score, an occult score, a deception score, a social score, a stealth score, and a transport score. They're all kind of self-explanatory, but each one of them requires a detail. So if you choose to do a stealth one, I need to know what your entry point is. If you choose to just kick ass and take names and blast your way in and do an assault one, I need to know what your point of attack is. So we do the gather information. We do the planning phase, which is literally just that right there. We discuss your loadout, which I will go over at the appropriate time, and then we will roll engagement. So engagement is going to be based on, you'll always get 1 dice for just the sheer audacity of you committing crimes, and then you will get pluses or minuses based on either you guys using your contacts or the information you have found inside your gather information roll. And you may get minuses such as if you go against like the government or a faction way higher than you or something insanely dangerous, or your plan sounds like cockamamie nonsense. Any of those things can be a negative towards that. And when we roll that roll, it's just like the rolls for you guys, except it sets the position of your score. So I will roll a number of d6s. I only care about the highest one. And whatever that is, either a 3 through 1, a 4 through 5, or a 6, that will set whether you are on a desperate, a risky, or a controlled starting point, meaning all of your initial rolls for this score will be set at that level. And then they will change based on your circumstances. Does that make sense? I know that was a little bit of a mechanical exposition, but and we can sort of play through that as we go, obviously. And then we jump right into the score. So the 4 of you are gathered, bent over, looking at this map, and you see in the center-ish of the map is a chunk of area. I believe it is to the east of Six Towers, called Charter Hall. Charter Hall is the seat of education here inside Doskvol. It's also It's also the seat of law, I would say. So there are several colleges here. There is the Alchemical College. There are the Sparkwrights Guild. The Sparkwrights are, of course, in charge of keeping the lightning towers going. There are strange, like, esoteric halls as well. There's also the legal quarter. So there's a place called like Barrister's Way, which is where like the lawyers, the barristers are like taught. So this is a seat of educational power here. The crime rate is relatively low. The crime rate is relatively low, and the police presence is middling to high. So that's where you know your score is. As you were told, they are passing these through the catacombs underneath Charter Hall. So as the four of you are stood looking over this massive map, how do any of you plan to gather information to help your crew, your score be easier, your crew succeed at this? Now it doesn't have to be here. You guys can go out and like explore the city and learn more things.
So I'm going to jump in then. Bo spends time at least in the catacombs within 6 towers. I'd like to believe that because the two areas are quite closely linked, that the catacombs from one have access to the others, and he's managed to get from the catacombs that he knows and find a way into the catacombs beneath Charter Hall. And he is mapping potential routes that where they could be bringing the spirit bottles into Charter Hall and how they could be moving it to where they believe they're going.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Sure am. I sure am. What action do you think would accomplish this task?
When you say action,
I mean the things on the right-hand side of your character sheet. So hunt, study, survey, prowl.
It would be survey, unfortunately.
Okay, cool. So gather information rolls work slightly different than the normal rolls you roll during a score, right? And the way they work is you're going to take the action, count the number of little pips next to it, and then if you scroll down on your character sheet, you should see a bar that says roll fortune or fortune roll or something of those kinds. Click fortune roll, and you're going to input the number of pips you had next to whatever that skill is.
So I have 1 in survey, so I'll set it number 1 and submit. No notes. A 2.
Okay. So the reason we do that roll is because there is no position and effect, right? The consequence of you failing this is a lack of information that you get. So on a 1 to 3, as is normal, you have failed. I have full narrative control of this. You do that. However, what you find is that through hours and hours of searching the catacombs, not a single one of them connects from 6 towers through the canals into Charter Hall. Now there are catacombs that do connect other places to other places, but apparently 6 towers, or at least the areas you could search within the hours you have, does not connect to Charter Hall. So there is no way from where you are to where you need to be. Okay. Who else would like to gather some information?
I would, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You go.
I think if we go back to the map room, I'm going to add to the room a little bit, and on the map itself, I think are little wooden carvings, and there is a dog and a goat and a bird and a fist. and you see Wren place the dog next to the fist on top of in the catacombs. And then, Mike, we know that Sorrow is a ghost hound, right?
Correct.
Can Wren see through Sorrow's eyes?
You cannot. So that ability is cool and is one of the few abilities you can actually take multiple times. And if you look at that ability, it will say something like choose an option, ghost form, mind link, and then something else. You have ghost form. So if you were to, on your next like full level up, if you took that ability again, you could have mind link.
Okay, sounds great. So then tell me a little bit more about what we know about this. We know that there's a shipment, right? And you said we believe that it's being distributed through the catacombs, but do we know do we have any hints on who is doing this, or no? Is that what we're trying to discover?
That is what you're trying to discover.
All right.
You essentially only have that manifest information that you pulled off of Attikin's wall.
Okay, so then Wren is going to start from the shipyard instead of from the catacombs, and will try to hunt her prey from there, looking to trace directly from the shipments.
Okay, so you're trying to figure out who is doing the smuggling of this.
Yeah, and we'll try to kind of trace the distribution starting from the shipyards.
Oh yeah, I love that. Go ahead and roll me. So on the same thing, go down to your fortune. It sounds like you said hunt. So however how many pips you have in hunt, just select that when you're rolling for fortune.
So here's a mechanics question. I think there's like multiple things that could contribute here, and I don't know if that means you get more pips. So it could be hunt, it could be survey, it could be prowl. Like all of those things could contribute.
I agree that it could be all of those. As a friendly GM, I recommend you take the one with the highest number of pips.
Got it. Okay, we're gonna go with hunt, and maybe she's gonna move the dog over to the shipyard so that
two things. Is Sorrow? It is Sorrow, right?
Sorrow. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is Sorrow assisting you in this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Sorrow's coming along. I was thinking Sorrow might go independently, but
okay.
Not
so
yet.
that was thing one. Thing two is don't forget you guys also have contacts or friends that could assist in these things. I don't think yours does in this instance, Melissa, but
No.
I will give you a +1 for Sorrow.
Oh, great. Okay, so then I go to the roll fortune, and then I put 3 in there.
Yep.
Oof. 2, 2, 1. That's bad, right?
Okay.
Or is it
not
good?
It's not good.
Is it double?
Nope. 1 to 3 is just a straight up failure. The only double that matters in the entire game is if you roll 2 6s.
Okay.
If you roll 2 6s, it's a critical. There is no crit failure. There just is failure. But even a failure leads to some information. You spend some time at the docks, quite literally sniffing around, kind of tracking these things. You don't find anyone that has any information about the trafficking of these essentially like soul jars, right? These which is to be expected. It's highly illegal, right? So you weren't expecting everyone to be super forthcoming with this, but even like trying to like literally nose to the ground and suss out what's going on here, you find nothing. That does tell you no one from the dockers union or anyone that works the docks genuinely has any idea what you're talking about, which means this shipment is not coming from outside off a boat. The shipment must have generated somewhere inside the city already, or may be already here, may be already underground somewhere. and it is going by the like abnormal transit routes. So like the Dockers Union, the Cabbie Union, no one has any idea what you're talking about. So this is not going through normal channels. So perhaps some third party action is getting it on this.
So then after that, we'll cut back to the I'm sorry, the war room, and I think they have like a chalkboard, and she writes up on the chalkboard Dockers Union, Cabbie Union, and then marks them out, and that would be her turn.
Oh yeah, love that. Perfect. Hawke and Satyr, what are you doing to gather information?
Well, I think this is where I was starting to get the idea of switching my dangerous friends around.
Sure.
Because making my Grace, the extortionist, moving them from my enemy to my friend, and using them as a resource in this information gathering. I want to know where, if they can help me figure out where the spirit bottles are going. Who's the intended target? Who could possibly be using these spirit bottles?
I'm fine with that switch if you want to make it.
That's my
if you want to make that friend swap, I'm fine with that.
Cool.
Okay. What? So you have a +1 for your companion, or your friend. But what action do you think this is going to be?
Her highest skills are command and skirmish, so it's not going to be skirmish. Command obedience with your force of personality, intimidate or threaten. Survey. Survey a location or situation to understand what's going on. Sense trouble before it happens. Gather information about opportunities or exploits. And study, which is like more research, like book study. I'm kind of leaning towards command.
Okay.
Yeah, like using her off-putting, unsettling demeanor and personality as a form of intimidation, and to try and find out who could possibly be benefiting from receiving these spirit bottles. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Though I'm not trying to intimidate my contact.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and do a fortune roll with how many ever pips you have in consort, +1 for what's their name? Grace.
Roll fortune, number of dice 3. Submit. No notes. 4, 2, 5.
Okay, so a 5. A 5 is a mixed bag. Okay. So, what do you get? What do you get from that information?
Like, this is also like the place of academics, right? So it's possible that like these are just her thought processes too, and she's doing this research. Obviously, she's gone out and she's talked to Grace. Like, what are the odds that these are being used for legitimate reasons, but they have to be gained illegally? You know what I mean? Because these are like academics, right? What if these academics are trying to do something? You know, like, I don't know if that helps narrow it down or something like that.
I mean, ironically, you nailed it. It didn't help narrow it down. You hit the nail on the head. Grace comes back and I've decided based on the name that you don't have a description for Grace, right? We don't have an NPC.
No.
Okay, outstanding. Grace the extortionist. I have an image in my mind, which I think is perfect and hysterical at the same time. Grace is somewhere between 14 and 20, but like a slightly malnourished, like street urchin girl. So it's hard to tell where she falls in that because, like, you know, she's not as full as she should be with food. So she's kind of frail, which you'd never guess her to be an extortionist.
Could she be a fellow orphan from the orphan house where Hawke grew up?
Actually, I was gonna say, I think, like Rux, you as in your daytime persona have had several run-ins with Grace, and despite what she looks like, which is like a dress-wearing street urchin, right, who looks very innocent, she has a violent upbringing, and she is a very violent person. She is not an extortionist that's like, oh, I'm gonna blackmail you. It's like, no, I'm gonna break your fingers. Like she is a full-on a tiny terror.
Yeah.
And she is an absolute nightmare. And I think you've had at least one or two like physical run-ins with her. And at some point a switch flipped and you were like, you know what? I can use this. We're gonna have a mutual balance. Like, you don't come anywhere near where I'm doing my job, and I'll make sure everyone leaves you alone. Just like give me a heads up where your crimes are happening. And also I'm going to use your crime skills, right? She comes back to you, and she doesn't look like she had her ass kicked, but she does seem like a mutual a mutual disagreement of fists happened, right? And she looks to you and she says, as she like cracks bloody knuckles and like sort of like readjusts herself, and then like straightens up a dress that definitely has like flecks of blood on it, and she says, all right, love, so I reached out, right, and I found out that your shipment, are you sure that this is what you want, right?
Well, yes. The value of this score, monetarily and in other avenues, it can't be ignored.
Okay, all right. And I'm just curious. The rumor on the street says that you're in a cult. Is that accurate?
That's such a powerful word, Grace.
Okay, so yeah, right. So are you one of the cults that likes to like self-flagellate, or like do you like to impose injury on yourselves? Is that what your thing is? Or no?
Personally, no.
Okay. I want you to, you know,
I'm not yucking anyone's yum here, my darling.
Sure, of course. The intended recipient of your package is the church.
Ooh. The church.
The church. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, little does everyone know that everyone serves my master, whether they know it or not. And she winks at them.
Oh. Okay, so you're in there. All right. Well, I mean, best of luck to you. And I would recommend securing your package before it gets to the intended recipient. Or I'll need to find a new blue coat friend. Best of luck to you.
Say no more. And if any compensation might help, some of these bottles perhaps might.
Oh dear, no. I want between the church, the crematorium, the dimmers, those fucking weirdos. I don't want anything to do with ghosts. Absolutely not.
And she kind of reaches over and she just gently like strokes her cheek, like almost like maternally.
Mm.
And she's like, Say no more. You will not hear from me regarding this matter again.
Best of luck to you, love.
Put some salve on that hand. And she...
Oh, I have a few more of these to deliver. And she, like, clenches her fists for a second. Not there, though. And she, like, motions in, like, the vague direction of Charter Hall. Anyway,
yeah, she just...
enjoy your night.
Yeah, she tips her hat and wafts out.
Yeah, like it's like a CI, right? Like with your confidential informant is kind of like, yeah. She just fucks off into the shadows. So you know the intended recipient is the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, which is that's a big name. You're staking a claim.
And then it cuts back to the war room, and then she puts, is the church have a building inside the Charter Hall?
The church, I don't know that they actually have a full-on building inside. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you on that.
Well, she will. Then she puts a pin in wherever their main building is, and she just goes. You just see the pin go like right into the thing.
Perfect. Before we get to Satyr, I do have a question that I forgot to ask Wren. Why is Bo the bird?
I'm the bird.
Oh, you're the bird.
Bo's the fist.
Bo's the fist.
Why is Bo the fist?
Because he destroys.
Could be an axe, but yeah.
Okay, he's an alchemist. That's why I was like, "What is he? Why is he the fist?" I imagine the cutter, the brawler being the.
We could change it. Like it could be like a potion bottle or something.
No. This is.
What do you
This
want?
is your imagination. I have in my head. Wren carved these, so Wren put time into these little doodads. I just immediately assumed Punchy McPuncherson would be the cutter, and I was like, why would Chris be a bird? Why would Bo be the bird? I didn't even associate Hawke either. I was like, poop gone.
Yeah, I mean, if Bo wouldn't like the fist, Wren would carve something else. So what would Bo want?
Bo would go with anything. He's an easygoing guy. He just does what he's told.
Yeah, I figure these totems are like Wren's internalized thoughts on the people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Bo's a big guy, so he's it makes sense because you said Wren's quite small, so Bo would be standing quite tall. He might not be a Punchy McPuncherson, but he looks like he could.
Okay.
And sorry, what is the name of the church? The Church of what?
Ecstasy of the Flesh.
Yeah. Yep. And you would know that is the church. Like capital C. That is like the like I think it's like the official state sanctioned church. Everything not that is a cult.
So is it like obvious, like based on their name? Like, are they like a sex cult or something, or like what?
No, that's us.
No, actually,
not us.
Great question. Great question. Not the case, or you would have lost Satyr. They are. It is not. It is not the ecstasy in the sexual form. It is ecstasy in the fact that you have flesh, more likely. Okay. So anything dead, undead, ghostly, vampiric, hull, etc., fucking crime, vile, sin, destroy all things.
That's why she mentioned the flagellation.
No, she mentioned the flagellation because you're nobody, and you're going against the church.
Oh,
that
so
would
like
be like that would be
like.
like. Yeah. That'd be like, you're like, I have a gun and I'm gonna kill the Pope. Like they're like, okay, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
You want to get your ass beat? Is that what she's asking?
Yeah. She's like, are you the kind of cult that likes inflicting pain upon yourselves because you're going against the church? Just so we're clear, someone's gonna kick your ass at some point in this scenario.
Okay. So yeah, she puts the pin in and she just kind of like taps her lip and goes, Well, this is an interesting development. And then cut to Satyr.
It truly is. And Satyr, yeah, where do we see you? What are you doing to gather some information?
All right. Everybody's got good things. Funny, both Bo and Wren were similar to what I was originally thinking. But seeing as they've already kind of explored some of those areas, I think what Satyr is going to do is to make his way to the catacomb, or the kind of the street level of the catacombs, and he is going to visit a couple of we'll call it drinking establishments, and he is going to try to find individuals that might be on the little more shadier side, and in just being friendly, try to slip in that he is interested in procuring services of some smugglers that might help him get some mystical artifacts into the city. And so essentially trying to figure out who would be likely to be dealing with smuggling spirit bottles, as a way to try to figure out who our target actually is.
Okay. I like that. What action do you think that would be?
Yeah, my contact doesn't really make sense in this context. So I think from action, it could either be consort or sway, I think. Now, I would parlay this, if I could find them, into a prowl, where I would be following people around, which is my better skill. But I think I will just go with, I think I'll go with sway. Because that's more of a deception, trying to get information out of people that are not necessarily people that I'm already acquainted with. So I think sway.
Okay. So scroll down, hit that fortune roll button, and put in the number of pips and roll that die. It is at least one, right?
It's one, yeah.
Okay, great.
One. So we'll give it a shot. There it is. Bam! I'm good at my job.
Oh yeah, dude! On a one die, absolutely perfect.
I picked the right people. That's all. So.
You do pick the right people, and I think there is some. We see a lot of lamps that have like red fabric over them, right? In this scene, I imagine. A lot of like beaded curtains, swinging doors, a lot of backroom deals. It's sweaty in the places that Satyr goes. The air feels sweaty. There's a certain odor in some of these places. Human sweat mostly is the odor. But I think a number of these conversations sort of like daisy chain, right? Through until you finally get a person, and she is not someone you've ever frequented before, but she is a 100%. She is a beautiful young woman in her own right, but she seems to be like not set aside, but like a specific clientele. And you see that she is heavily tattooed in what you know to be like a ritualistic manner, almost like Anakin. But Anakin's was a little self-inflicted, right? So she has a very specific clientele and or services that she provides, which is not typically that of Adonis. But you make your way to her, and she talks to you and says that there is, she says, very, very quiet, very like demurely, there is actually a no one's talking about this, and no one should talk about this, obviously, but there is a bit of a secret. I wouldn't call it a war, but there is a secret battle happening for the souls of Doskvol, and I know that what I look like, that would sound like some sort of like a metaphor, and I assure you it isn't. The church and all of their affiliations are quietly and also not quietly, but actively hunting down and seeking souls, ghosts in any form. I don't know why they're doing this, and what I do know is someone I've had the pleasure of working for, the Weird Sisters, the Dimmers. I think they are the opposing faction against the church, trying to preserve the souls. The church is doing something, and when the church does anything, it is some hired underground, not the usual channels. If I had to guess, they would have hired someone who could take the fall for whatever's happening. If I had to guess, it would be Scovs. They may have hired out a group of mercenaries from Scotland to come here and carry this out, because if Scotlanders were caught with this kind of thing and they had a run-in with the Bluecoats and the Bluecoats killed them in the streets, I don't think anyone would bat an eye. So if I had to guess, a team of mercenaries, but I would say a team of mercenaries strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Bluecoats and anyone else that got in their way. So
that would
be careful.
That would make sense. I'm not sure I want to be dealing with mercenaries myself, but would you know how to get in contact with them?
With the mercenaries? Well, there is a man, Ulf, I think his name is. There's a man called Ulf in the city who is a Scotlander, and I think he's forming. I'm not entirely sure what he's forming, but he's seeking other Scotlanders to join him and sort of form a mostly, if not all, Scove working party. I'm not entirely sure. A gang, a union. I don't know. If anyone would know,
that's fine.
He may.
Okay, that's helpful. Do you yourself offer? Do you have other contacts that might work with me on this transport needs that I have?
I could talk to the sisters if
the sisters are your primary. Myself and my associates have a relationship with the sisters, and so if that is what your recommendation is, then I thank you, and I am in your debt.
What I will say is, if a shipment such as the one you talk about should fall into your possession, then the sisters would make use of it.
Understood. Thank you so much. As I said, I am in your debt, and I myself have a variety of skills that I could use to repay said debt to you if you were ever interested.
She looks you up and down, in a way that like brings a little warmth to the cheeks, and then she smiles at you and draws the blinds over the door, and then we fade from this negotiation back to the war room. How John? How in 2 out of the 3 games, arguably 3 out of the 3 games, because one of them is with your wife. How do all the female NPCs and also your wife end up flirting with you in every game that we play, John?
One could say that it's me initiating, but I'd rather just think it's just charisma.
It's just pure animal magnetism. I think it's just.
I can't help it.
John, secret ladies man.
Very deep secrets, friend zone forever kind of deep secret. Yeah, that. No, see, playing these games, Mike, is called fantasy.
I'm sure it is.
Why we use that term, not actual reality. Yeah, that's key.
And I'm sure we bring nothing about ourselves into our characters.
Not in this game, not at all.
No, not
of course.
So yeah, I like to murder people. Yeah, okay. So back in the war room, Adonis will grab the chalk on the chalkboard and will write basically smugglers, Skav mercs, and then he will say contacts Dimmer sisters. He will put that up. Dimmers working against church.
Okay.
So that's
Wren will have watched that and then just pat him lightly on the shoulder.
He just give you a smile.
Perfect. So from here, we're going to move to our plan. Now, I use the word plan very loosely, very light planning. The point of this game is to not plan. It is to jump into the action and then sort of plan retroactively by the use of our flashback mechanic. So I don't want to know how you're going about this. I don't want to know, we're going to go here. We're going to meet at this street. We're going to go and I don't need to know any of that. I need to know, what kind of plan is this? Is it an assault? Is it deception, stealth, occult, transport, or social? What kind of score is this?
Well, first, let's try to determine what it's not. See if that helps.
Okay. I don't think it's social.
Yes, I don't think it's social. And I don't really think it's assault either.
Okay.
I don't think it's a cult. Well, it could be, I guess. We could... No.
So I don't... Yeah, transport... I'm not sure. I mean, transport feels like we are transporting something, not the other way around. But I think... I mean, stealth, definitely, if we're trying to kind of approach in stealth, although that could also maybe be assault. Depends on how they did say we are suspecting that these are fairly well equipped mercs, so maybe a straight assault would not go well for us. Maybe not, but so stealth to try to get basically steal it out from under them without them knowing. The other could be deception. We know it's the church, so I was thinking maybe
we know it's the Scavs
here.
Right?
What was that?
We know it's the Scavs too, working with the church, so we could deceive one way or the other.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe deception. Do we pretend we're the church and we take the delivery? We try to intercept them before the actual rendezvous and convince them that we are actually the church.
Just a quick question, Mike. I can't remember. Did we determine how big this shipment is?
I don't believe you did.
Okay.
But what I will say is, based on what Bo did, and general knowledge as well, the catacombs are not big enough to get a carriage in, and most of the time not big enough to get anything like a boat in. So the biggest it could be would be a hand cart.
I see. Okay. And sorry, and the catacombs are above the water table?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
With
Some are,
transport,
some are
by the
not.
way.
What's that?
So transport, I've been flip-flopping back and forth on, because it does feel like, exactly like you said, John, that feels like it's what we're transporting, but they are transporting, and it's an interception of a transport, and we're going to have to get it out of wherever it is and transport it. I don't feel like it is a transport as our means of stealing, but
I'm kind of thinking, like, I don't know if this is getting into the meat of the planning, but I'm thinking like it's both. I know I don't think we can roll both, but I'm thinking like a bait and switch. We intercept the
let me give you the description of each, just so we have a little bit more. So an assault, do violence against a target. Deception, lure, trick, or manipulate. Stealth, trespass unseen. Occult, engage a supernatural power. Social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade. Transport, carry cargo or people through danger.
I think it's deception.
Yeah, I'm thinking deception too.
Well, in the detail, the thing that we would have to do for deception would be the method of deception. For transport, it would have to be the importance of the route, which also, I think, after what Chris said, I'm like, yeah, it could be. I mean, yeah.
But I don't think our intention is to protect something through a route, right? It is to intercept it through deception, and then abscond with it.
Right. So yeah. So it's basically to steal it. And so, do we want to do that through assault, deception, or stealth?
I think deception is where it's at.
Definitely not assault.
We're all pretty stealthy, though, right? Aren't we?
I am very stealthy.
I'm
stealthy, relatively speaking.
What is deception skills? What are those?
Consort, sway, and
command.
The other one? Command, thank you.
Command, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have one pip in each, but I'm not not amazing. I just happen to roll a 6 on a 1 die. So
I also recall you rolling a bunch of 6s in the last session too.
I rolled well. Yeah, I've been rolling well in this.
Yeah, like I can command. That's all that I have in resolve.
Command still could be useful in this context.
I mean, the downside / the upside to this game is it can be any of them, right? You could try to bargain with the people down there. That could be social, right? You could try to confer with some sort of ancient forgotten god and or demon and or other ghosts and or other things to find these spirits. It could be you could go full frontal and just kick ass, take names. It could be any of them, which is unfortunate that I can't be like, guys, it's clearly this one. But also a fun mechanic to have. Your reputation, you are strange, you are occult. So your reputation means you do things in a strange manner. So, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh man, I don't know.
I mean, the prevailing one sounds like deception. So if no one has another hat to throw in the ring, then I will ask, what is your method of deception? Who are you deceiving?
Well, we work at an opera house, so there's I'm guessing there's like a whole lot of old costumes. So I think that we dress up like we're members of the let's see, Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh.
Okay.
I like John's original proposal. Unless anyone has an alternative. Chris?
I mean, that might get close, and then we can kind of try to figure it out from there.
Yeah, like kind of like I'm thinking of like an end game where, because the church says they hired a group of someone who could take a fall, and that's literally what I want them to do. Like they're gonna get they're gonna get discovered by the actual people who are supposed to be accepting the cargo from the church, that they lost their packages, and then they're gonna them or something like that. Like that's kind of just where I would like this to end up. You know what I mean?
Wait, you want Hawke to kill them in the end?
No, not Hawke. I want the church to kill their fall guys because
I see. Like make it out such that it seems like they just ran off with it.
yeah, or they show up and then, like when I said it before about a bait and switch, it's like they show up and the crates are empty or something like that. You know, that's where I'm leaning towards, and we've absconded with the actual goods. I don't know how that helps the situation.
Yeah, I think if we knew where the stuff was at, that would be more of a stealth mission to go in and just kind of make replace the spirit bottles with just bottles or something. But it's going to be on the move, and I'm not sure how we would.
Yeah,
would do a swap.
Yeah, for deception, we're gonna have to. Yeah, so we want to
the bait and switch is stealth, but stealth is fine if
Yeah.
we want to go that route.
I just mean if we accept payment, or we accept the shipment, and we leave, and then the church is going to go back and find them later and say, "Hey, where's our stuff?" And they're going to go, "We gave it to you," and they're going to go, "No, you didn't." And so I think we accomplished the same thing. But I'm good trying either way.
I say we have to make a decision. So I think we go with Wren's choice about disguising ourselves, right, Wren, as members of the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, or something, right?
Yep.
And then trying to get to the shipment before they do. That they being the actual church.
Yeah. We'd have to intercept them early and then tell them why we are not at the meeting place. And that's pretty easy. We just say the meeting place is compromised by the Dimmer sisters. That's what I would say.
I think both of these proposals have the problem that we don't know where they are routing this through.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
we don't know.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
We can go to where they're routing it through. Problem solved.
Well, we know where it's going to, but we don't know where.
We don't know where it's going to, because if it's
Well,
supposed to go in Charter Hall, we don't know. There's no
There's a
specific
church.
place.
But there is a church, right? Isn't that what?
Yeah. So there are. I had said this in the chat. So the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh has a main cathedral in Brightstone. That's like the cathedral, right? But not everyone who worships can all fit and go there or have the luxury of being there, right? So there would be smaller churches. Like just because a state in the United States has a mega church doesn't mean there aren't other like satellite churches. So there would be a satellite church. And given the information you have, which is not a lot, that would be a good assumption. That'd be a safe assumption that it's somehow going to the church. What's that?
The church in Charter Hall is what we're
correct.
referring to. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I don't know. That might change things. Maybe it can't be deception because it would be weird to show up to their own place dressed as them, right?
But it's coming from underground. It's coming from the catacombs. You show up in the catacombs.
Oh, so
Yeah,
we start at the church and we go from the catacombs there. Okay, yeah, that works. So we just get barely ahead of them. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have a plan. We have a detail. Now, given that, no need to discuss anything. The item mechanics are very cool in this game. So at the top of your sheet, underneath your playbook name, you will see load 3 light, 5 normal, 6 heavy. before we jump in, I need each of you to select a load. Let me know which one it is, and let me tell you how this works. This is a very fun system. This is Schrodinger's backpack. You have all of the items listed in the gray box and all of the items listed in the white box. The load is the number of items you are going to have access to in this score. So you don't have to pick which items you have to go in. As you need an item, you check the box, and that counts as 1 out of the number of load you have, right? So you have all and none of these items at the same time. Now, the light versus normal versus heavy does not have a mechanical effect on the game. It does have a narrative effect on the game, which I may transition into a mechanical effect. If you are trying to be stealthy and you have a shitload of stuff kind of bulking out your frame, that's going to be a lot harder. I may impose negatives upon that. If you are dressed up as members of the clergy, perhaps, and you have, a duffel bag full of guns, that looks suspicious. So that may impose negatives on your
bandolier of grenades.
Yeah, if you have a bandolier of grenades, that may hinder your disguise ability. So I'm going to start from the top on my screen here. G, what is your load for this game?
I'm gonna go normal.
You're gonna go normal. Okay, outstanding. Satyr, what is your load for this game?
A quick question before I answer. What would be, I guess, normal garb for the clergy of this church? Do they have, is it robes or clothes? Do they wear those outside? Do they have, in other words, how much, I'm not sure if I need to go normal or light, depending on what would be kind of normal expectations to look like actual clergy.
What a good question. What a good question. I think very monk-like, right? Your classic, I think your classic pseudo Christianity, right? It's like an alb of some kind, so a long robe. I think
puffy enough we could store we could have things underneath.
Yeah.
But not like full body armor or anything.
Yeah.
Or carrying automatic weapons or something like that.
I mean, you can do that, but maybe not the automatic weapons part, but you have a leash, you could invent one. I think you can be that bulky, but it's going to stick out, right?
Okay. In that case, I think normal will be fine. I'll go with that.
Okay. Fantastic. From there, we'll go over to Wren.
Wren's going to go with light.
Light. Okay. Outstanding. And lastly, Bo.
Chris is tempted to go heavy. And I think Bo, being the big guy, he probably carry all the shit. So yeah, let's go heavy.
Okay. I can dig it. So you're going heavy. So just check that box off on your sheets, and we can rock from there. Okay. So we have our gather information. We have our plan. We have our detail. We have our load. Now comes the fun part. This is the engagement roll. So the way the engagement roll works is you have 1 dice for the sheer audacity of your crimes to be committed. Now, this is the fun part where I can try to help you, but you tell me why you think you deserve more than 1 dice. Based on the information you have gathered, why do you think you guys get more than 1 dice for this job?
Our faith is better than theirs.
Okay.
I'll expand a little bit.
Yeah, please.
I closed my character sheet. Shit. No, I didn't. I'll just read something that I wrote. It's kind of like an opinion she would have. It's what I mentioned before to Grace. She thinks Everyone is in genuflection to the empty vessel, whether they know it or not. It matters not what god they pay lip service to. The people of Doskvol have fallen from grace a long time ago. Only with the return of the empty vessel will we walk back into Eden. So she doesn't care what faith you worship. She thinks everyone will serve the empty vessel in the end. So her faith is driving her to essentially take what she feels is already hers. Hers being extended.
Okay, I'll buy that. I'll buy that for just narrative ballsiness. Does any of your information you've gathered help you here collectively?
I mean, for me, I think having knowing that the church is the destination, dressing as church clergy to invoke at least approachability and or giving us an in to approach them, putting them somewhat at ease, giving us an advantage. I think that knowledge is super useful.
It's also the fact that we're allies. We're allies with the Dimmer sisters, and they are. Is that
that is true? But that doesn't help you. That doesn't help you make the score easier because they're not actually giving you any help.
Mike, what about? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, please go.
No, you go.
Okay. The Skovlanders, they are not locals. They don't necessarily know anyone from the church.
And I just want to add about the Dimmer sisters. They haven't helped us yet. Because we're not planning anything.
This role determines your starting position to this crime. So them helping you after the crime is over does not help you in the crime.
No. I mean, because we're not planning anything, right? So any help that they would offer us beforehand is not.
Yeah, I will not take Schrodinger's assistance as a viable dice option.
No. Okay, but maybe I'm just misunderstanding like a mechanic because we can use a flashback to say that we got help from them in some capacity.
Sure. You can.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you can and you cannot do that, right? So you can do that, but you can also just not do that. And if you don't do that, then that dice doesn't count anymore. But I can't take that dice away retroactively if you don't use them. You have not to this point used them, so that cannot help you.
Okay.
So I wanted to go the route of the Skovlanders too, in that I agree they are strangers, so they would not recognize members of the church, but also that we have an opportunity to learn more about them and exploit their weaknesses through this, right? Like we're going into it knowing that it's Skovlanders. So
are there terms of greeting that Skovlanders would typically use? We could use those. We could any common gestures that they would do to, like a handshake versus a kiss on each cheek or whatever. Like those types of mannerisms would be something at least Satyr would be like thinking of or aware of. Like, hey, how do we present that we are familiar with this, basically interactions with this group?
We can be more trustworthy allies even than the actual church would be in gaining their trust.
Interesting. Are any of you Skovlanders? I know one's Aruvian, one is
No, I don't
Dagger Isles.
We have two Severosi.
Two
Severosi. Okay.
One Aruvian, and I don't remember.
We do have members of the church, though. Like, can we drag along somebody who's a member of our church? You know what I'm saying? Do we have a cohort?
I will. Okay.
We do.
Okay.
Supposed to have minions. We are a cult.
That is. We have to build your cohort.
Not a lot yet, but.
Okay. We do have to build your cohort. I will say I'll give you a dice for the assistance of your cohort in this situation. Okay. So we're at 5 dice so far. Now comes my turn, the part where no player enjoys. The mercenaries are incredibly well defended and ready for a fight. The church is a much higher tier than you. They are tier 4. You actually have no idea what route or catacomb they are going in, and there are a lot of them. I think that's it. So, 2 dice. 2 dice is your engagement roll here, which is great. Good thing you had 5 to start. So I'm going to roll engagement.
None.
It could have been 0. I'm going to roll engagement here. Now, whatever this dice sets at, so if it rolls a 6, you will start at a controlled setting. So you control the play of this. If it is a 4 and a 5, it is a risky, which is kind of like the normal area, right? If it is a 2, 3, 2, or a 1, you are in a desperate situation when the score kicks off. So when we smash cut to the action, it's a bad situation for you guys. Ooh, a 4 and a 5. Okay, so this is risky. This is where the collaborative fun begins. And we're gonna break mid-score, I think.
So at least with a 4 and a 5, we hopefully have found them in the catacombs.
Yeah, I think here's the situation, right? The starting rolls, and until I change the narrative or one of you changes the narrative, all of your rolls are going to start as risky something. So risky standard, risky great, risky the other one, less. So I think exactly what you said, Satyr, right? So we cut from the war room, right? So we have this war room, we have the goat, the fist, the bird, the dog all on the map. We have the chalk drawings, right? We have this planning scene, and then we see this like this chit chat happening, and then we see like a Steven Soderbergh. The camera cuts in half. And then we see that juxtaposition of the 4 of you inside the war room, and then the 4 of you are now inside a catacomb, right? So you're in this like dome-shaped catacomb, like these stones, these like, chiseled out, bricks sort of line the walls, and you see that you are in like like the hub of a wheel, and there are spokes of tunnels in these catacombs sort of coming out here. And we'll say one of you has sort of like a whoever wants to have this has like a almost like a staff, but you see that the staff has this like glass encased with metal sort of caged device sort of on this, and you see a flickering blue electric light on here because that's somehow cooler than a torch. And so this domed area is a light in this flickering blue light, and you see coming down one of the tunnels opposite you with the orange-red amber glow of a torch, and you can smell the burning fuel on the end of this torch. You can hear the slap of wet footprints as a group of people are walking towards you. And so I think we start this scene here at the point of the detail, the point of deception, where all of you, I'd love you to describe yourselves, are dressed as members of the clergy of some kind, members of the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, here to receive the goods promised you. So that's where we begin. Everyone's role is going to be risky to start with. The Scotlanders, these mercenaries, are walking up through the tunnel. What do you do?
How many are there?
You begin to see them come out of the tunnel, and over the through the torchlight, you see that there are 6 of them.
6.
And they are, if Bo looks big, it's like 6 Bo.
Okay.
So there are, you see, 6 like. They've shedded some of their. It's a little bit warmer in Acheros than it is in Scotland. But they are wearing like thick like a thick padded sort of jacket. You see they all stand like they are holding this torch, and like if they held it like correctly, it would scrape the ceiling. So they are all a little bit hunched. Everyone here is over 6 foot. They look like they could be linebackers. So they are fairly built gentlemen, and you see that they are pulling a some sort of enclosed something on wheels. They are pulling this thing, and you can hear it like shake and rattle as they do so. And you see that they are all fairly bulky, bushy bearded gentlemen. One has like one of those like fur-lined hats that sort of like goes to a point in the middle as he's walking through. And you see each of them sort of like shift, kind of look between themselves, and they see you with your blue electric light out there. So who would like to act first, and what would you like to do? Now,
So
the fun part of this game is I don't get to do anything. I only get to react to you.
Mm-hmm. So, did we learn a greeting?
Scotland isn't like a far off, like it's away, but like it's not like a mystical land that no one knows. In fact, everyone would know this, but the Empire, which was largely Akarosi, basically Great Britain to the world, right? So Scotland was the last holdout, and the Empire in Scotland has been at war for quite a bit of time, and I think the war is only like settled in the last like 6 to 10 years. So yeah, if you want to know Scotland greetings and niceties, it would not be hard to learn them.
Is there a common church greeting? Praise the flesh or something like that, right? That's another angle.
Here's what yes, and you can make up whatever it is.
Awesome.
There would be like a peace be with you equivalent, right? Something of that kind. So yeah, whatever it is, whatever you say it is, that's what it is.
Have a blessed day. I don't know, whatever the particular thing is. Okay.
Yeah.
So just to describe what Hawke is, at least looking like, I think she is dressed as a ecstasy of the flesh, like the word completely just went out of mind, like a commando, like a Templar, like basically a guard.
Okay. I like that.
And my intention is that they're like guarding Satyr because he's the quick talker here.
The priest.
Inquisitor, that's kind of what I'm thinking of.
Satyr would have chosen to kind of take basically robes of a clergy, and would be I think kind of simple robes on that. I don't know if they have any particular head dresses that would be appropriate, but he will simply step forward. Oh, praise the flesh! We have caught you here. Our rendezvous point is compromised. We need to do this exchange here and now.
Okay.
I'm so glad you got here.
And one of her items that she's going to carry is, sorry, I just want to read the description here. She's going to have documents, a collection of slim volumes, blah, blah, blah. She's going to have documents that have been forged up on official church stationery to show this transfer, this change of plans.
Okay.
And she will hand a scroll to Satyr, as he's clearly the one in charge, and she's holding the torch as well, but like kind of out in front of him, like how one might hold a parasol over someone to block the sun. She's holding the thing over so he can see very well. So she's showing subservience to Satyr. And she hands him this.
Yes. Everything in order.
I love that. Okay, so I do believe this is a roll. I do believe this is a roll from Satyr. And I can't wait to see it. Now, I do have a question for Hawke before we get into this roll. Sure. I'm going to give, because you have used an item, I'm going to give a +1 to Satyr's roll for this, because that makes sense to me. Do you want to help him with the roll as well? Now, helping, if I'm not mistaken, costs you 1 stress, gives him 1 die, 1 additional die, but whatever happens, you both suffer the consequences.
Yeah, sure. In for a penny, in for a pound, John. Hey, she'll take some stress.
I can use some extra dice. I'm gonna have to generate some more too, because I don't have a great starting point.
Yeah, so she'll take a stress to help him, and she's essentially, because Satyr is giving off this air of, like, this is happening really quickly. Our plans are compromised, and she's gonna basically playing that up, and she'll call, she will refer to him as like a deacon or something, whatever the appropriate station of whatever his disguise is, and she'd be like, I'm like, sir, we must hurry, we do not have a lot of time. And she will mention some other person, like Inquisitor Johnson said we have mere minutes to make this go. So she's,
yes, I'm well aware the dimmers are on their way, and these men helping us, they need to be aware because they could be in danger. You need to be ready.
Okay. So I love this. This is our first big roll. Satyr, what action do you think you are doing here?
This would be a sway.
Okay. So you're going to roll me sway. You're going to have 1 bonus die from Hawke's documents. You're going to have 1 bonus die from Hawke's assistance. Hawke, you're going to take 1 stress. So in the stress tracker, just check that first box. So you have 2 bonus dice already. Now, you can either push yourself, Satyr, and take 2 stress for an additional die, or I can give you a devil's bargain, and you can get 1 extra die. You cannot push and take a devil's bargain. The downside to the devil's bargain is if you accept it, no matter what happens, the devil's bargain happens. So succeed or fail this roll, that devil's bargain happens.
I'm just going to push.
Okay, so if you push, just check off 2 of those stress bars, and that will give you a 3rd dice. So sway +3.
Okay, that's all right. And then I'm rolling. I just click sway.
Yep, just click the word sway, and then when it pops up, it'll say bonus dice or whatever. Just add 3 to that.
So position is risky.
Position is risky, and
what's the effect?
The effect, I think it's standard. This is pretty neutral terms here.
Okay, and then I get 3. We said 3 bonus dice.
Yep.
And we're going.
Let's go.
Come on, baby. There it is. Double 6s.
Yes.
Critical success. Love
Satyr's
that.
house.
I just wrecked Mike's day.
You didn't. So here's the thing. So this is why, one of the reasons why I love this system. And I should play it more. I'm playing 2 campaigns right now, so that's probably enough. I don't plan, like, as an improv GM in general, I don't plan a lot, but I plan less in this game. I can only react to you guys. So a lot of what I have to do is like make shit up when you're like, oh yeah, I go, because decide where you go in to gather information. I just know it's going from here, it's going to here, here's who's transporting it, and then I make shit up. This could have been a 2-hour long brawl. If you guys got into a fight right now, the episode was over. Fight happens next time. However, you just rolled a critical success. So, Satyr, you get to tell me exactly how these guys just turn that shit over to you and fuck off.
So conversation goes something like this. We need to make this exchange quickly because, well, as I said, there is danger here for you and us from the Dimmers. We need to take a different path. You need to. We'll complete this transaction, and we will move. Satyr turns back, looks at Wren and Bo. What are the goods on? Are they on a cart or what's going?
There is a cart, but imagine it had it has walls. Like it's fully like sealed in on a trolley of some kind, like a cash cart at a casino.
Great. Okay. He said. So, is this the entire shipment, or is it just? Is this?
Yes, this is the entire shipment. This is everything that we have. We've brought it here from. Regardless, if this is what you need, here, take this. We've already received the payment from your other representatives, and as far as I'm aware, there is no blue coat activity back from where we have already come. So please, by all means, I'm not here to stand in your way, sir, father, or what. I apologize, Reverend. And he slides the cash box forward. What'd you say?
He's deacon. He's a deacon.
Oh, I apologize. No disrespect to the church, a deacon.
He puts his hand out like, it's okay. He goes, no. We are all blessed of the flesh.
And she does
apologize. So he will turn back to Wren and Bo and kind of indicate like to the cart, right? Like.
Bo steps forward. He keeps his head sort of like bowed as if he's not really allowed to be in the presence of Satyr. And he's dressed quite scruffy compared to Satyr and Hawke. So he looks quite scruffy. And he's, yes. And he just moves up and he grabs as much as he can. And he just turns and he like without looking at Satyr and he says, which direction?
Oh, he gives you the cart. This guy, so you can take the whole cart.
Then he'll take the cart and just start walking whatever direction Satyr points him at this point.
Back down this way, and then we will take the side route to avoid any complications with those that are hunting us. He turns back. Good sirs, I'm not sure what is the best, safest way for you to leave here. Whether it's to move forward or to or to go back. I'm sorry. Nerves right now. I am generally not in a position of this sort of danger. So, excuse my rambling. Perhaps you should make your way back the way you came.
Yes, of course. We have already cleared the way back for ourselves. Is there anything that we can offer you, Deacon? Do you need assistance? Do you need us to additional protection? Of course, there will be a fee, but if there's anything that we can offer you, we will do so.
No, I trust funds exchanged and arrangements made are sufficient for you delivering this far. I feel safe with my flock here. We know these catacombs well. We should be fine, but we must make haste. Thank you so much. Looking forward to doing additional business with you in the future. I am sure there will be a need for future shipments. Thank you so much.
It's of course. Anything that we can do to assist our place here in this new world. And he bids you adieu as you take off down a catacomb,
whatever that is.
Yeah.
And we will turn and fuck the hell off.
Start the car. Start the car.
Absolutely wild. Yeah, I think that's it. that's it. That's your first score, guys. You open with a critical success on a solid plan. And I'm also not trying to kick anyone's ribs in on their first score. I think this is a perfect way to start off a zealous cult here in this place.
This game's so easy, Mike. It's so easy.
It's so easy, guys. All you have to do is roll critical successes all the times.
I will say I'll spend one of my subterfuge supplies just for narrative sayings that we have a way to change the mode of transportation of these goods when we get out of the catacombs.
Yeah, I would imagine you guys would have set up some sort of like. What do you guys have? Do you guys have a carriage?
I don't.
We have a boat.
Oh yeah, I would say you have a boat. Yeah, I would say one of the catacombs leads out to like the canal, right? And above water, like the catacomb goes up to be at water level, and you have your boat kind of like parked outside here. Makes perfect sense to me.
So for the purposes of Redcom, that's the way we figured out how to get into the catacombs was by cruising around our boat and finding an entrance, right?
Yeah, you're just like guessed at one of them. You're like, I'd try this one.
We should change out of our costumes though as soon as we get out of view. So that nobody like recognize it.
Burn them.
That's an excellent plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, so you are above reproach, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How did you all find my my Doskvol accent? Was it convincing enough?
It was quite convincing, Satyr. You have a knack for voices.
I've been trying.
You sound just like all the others.
It's a practicing here. So.
Okay. So before we end here, let's do a little bit of the mechanics of the wrap up of this, which is the consequences, or not the consequences. They're called entanglements. The entanglements. So we have entered into the downtime phase, which has the payoff, the heat, the entanglements, and then the downtime activities, which we'll for sure save till next time. That was a smooth first situation. And I also love the implications. Those will come back to bite you for sure.
There's none.
Okay.
Of course.
So
those really nice gentlemen, those Scovilles, they were really nice. You know?
So cool.
Yeah.
So
very
cool.
Professional. We love that.
So the payoff, at a minimum, you're going to get 2 reputation points. Okay. You're going to get +1. Actually, +1, 2, 3. Oh wait, no, sorry. +1. Yeah, okay. You're going to get 3 additional reputation points, so 5 total because of how high the Church of the Exceed of the Flesh is above you guys. However,
should we be writing this down or marking it somewhere?
I got it. I can mark it on places. However, now this is where the debate comes in. If the operation was silent and no one knows about it, no rep. Because you didn't garner reputation, no one knows it happened. Do you think collectively you were quiet enough to get no rep?
Wait, is reputation good or bad?
Reputation is good.
Good.
Reputation is one of the ways you level up the crew.
Well, so I think that what we should do here is go talk to the Dimmer sisters and take these to them, right? Because they were trying to prevent this from happening in the first place. So if we went to our allies,
we need to sell this to the Demers.
Yeah.
We need the money.
Yeah,
and then we would get reputation from that, because they would have known that this was happening. Then we come in, we help them out, and then we can also maybe benefit financially from that interaction.
We might be able to keep a couple, and we need to give Attican. We need to set him up with maybe 1.
We swipe a couple.
How many bottles are there in the score?
There are 6 coin worth of bottles.
Okay, so they're a good number. So in other words, we could put a few aside and still sell. So maybe we keep 1 coin worth and we sell the dimmers 5 or something like that. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Sure.
Regardless, Hawke would, either if you guys know about it or not, she's keeping some.
So is Bo.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're saying minimum 2 rep because you succeeded at the job. I will say if you're only telling the Dimmer sisters, which is a wise choice, this is the church, I will say not the full 5, but I will say 3. I will say 3 rep. So we're going to do 3 rep for the group. The payoff. So here are some options. You can give all of these to the Dimmer sisters, which will increase your reputation with the Dimmer sisters. You can make the Dimmer sisters buy all of them from you, which will give you the full amount in coin, but no reputation increase. Or you can split it up however you want. There are 6 coin worth of goods here.
Okay, so I think the plan is to keep 1 coin worth.
Okay.
I don't know.
No. Well, I was thinking maybe 1 coin for our ally, Anakin. It's not Anakin, though.
Anakin.
Anakin. 1 for Bo, 1 for Hawke, and then the other 3, let's give or sell to the Dimmer sisters.
Well, I'm assuming that the like 1 coin is not 1 bottle. Like I'm assuming bottles,
like a case.
Oh,
so we could give 1 or 2 bottles to Anakin just as a throwaway was what I was
so
thinking.
keep 1 case and split it. So that's 1 coin worth. And then do you want to sell it to the Dimmer sisters or give it to them as rep?
Well, we want money.
Yeah, Satyr would like to sell, but
so can we do both?
Yeah, can we do half and half or something like that?
So you're going to keep 1 coin worth, and you're going to sell them 3 coins worth,
and then give them the other.
And then give them the rest.
Yeah.
You're going to give them a massive discount on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would do is I will not increase your status with them, but I will say there'll be some sort of favor, which I will figure out behind the scenes and let you guys know how that will work mechanically. So you're going to garner 3 coins from that. Cool. And then you guys have, which I will take a note here, you guys have 1 coin worth of spirit bottles. Okay.
Well, I want to write down what we're actually getting here. So we're getting 3 coin plus 3 coin
plus 3 rep plus 3 coin plus 3 rep plus a favor from the Dimmer sisters and 1 coin worth of spirit bottles.
You got
it.
Okay. This is all on the crew character sheet, by the way. G. You don't have to write this down.
I know, but I don't trust looking at the character sheet. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Like,
if you look at the character sheet on Harbingers, the actual crew's character sheet,
Harbingers.
There's a big section that says rep, and it's 3, and there's a section that says coin, and there's 4 in there, and then there's a section that says notes, and there is 1 coin worth of spirit bottles written in there. All on there. I make sure to try to keep that shit together.
I still don't see it, but that's fine. I believe you. I want to know I just want to keep track of what we're getting per each score, you know?
Sure. Yep. It's all on that character sheet, but it is 3 rep, 3 coin, and 1 coin worth of spirit bottle.
Plus 1 favor from the Spirit Sisters.
Plus a favor from the Dimmer sisters.
Dimmer sisters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is on the faction sheet.
Correct. Okay, that is your payoff. Now, actually, sorry, that's not your payoff. Part of the payoff is paying your tithe. Now, the way this works is You are in 6 towers. You are doing crimes out of 6 towers. You must pay the crime boss of 6 towers. You don't have to. You not must. You can pay the crime boss of 6 towers to turn a blind eye to your activities. You don't work for this crime boss. You are working on their turf. It would be 1 coin to pay them off. If you choose not to do that, which is totally fine, I will start a clock that is their patience running out with you. The boss of 6 towers is Lord Skurlock.
Right.
And mechanically, this tithe is every score or
every score. And when that clock fills, your reputation with them goes down 1. When your reputation is -3 with somebody, you are at war with them.
So if we don't make more than 2, if we don't make 2 or more coin every score, we're actually going in the hole. Or
the minimum coin you can make on a job, the minimum you can make is 2.
Okay.
And what is our current standing with Lord Skurlock?
0.
It's
0.
even, I think. Yeah.
So, and then I'm looking at the Harbinger sheet, and it has 4 slots for coins. What happens? There's got to be a reason there's 4 slots for coins. Like, what does that mean?
You mean the little boxes that are checked off under coin?
Yeah.
So currently, your lair can hold 4 coin. Anything over 4 coin spills over to you, and you must carry that on your person. If you look next to that coin slot, it says like vaults, and there's an additional more. As an upgrade to your crew, you can get a vault in your lair, and your lair can hold more. Those 4 coins are secure in your lair, and only come into question if someone tries to break into your lair and steal them, or if you're at war with somebody. That's where that comes into. But you can also keep coin on your person as well. And I believe you can only have up to 4 on your person as well. There's a whole other part of that.
What can we spend the money on?
A lot of things. You can spend the money on favors to increase your gather information roll. You can spend during downtime, you can spend a coin to get an additional downtime activity. Everyone starts with 2, but you can spend a coin to get a 3rd one. You can spend coin to increase a roll. So if a roll would have been like a standard effect, you can spend a coin to make it a great effect. Succeeding on a great effect checks off more segments of a clock. And the clocks are like how shit gets done. So coin can be spent for a lot of different things. You also need tier times 2 or tier something. I forget what the exact math is. To level your crew up from tier 1 to tier 2, 2 to 3, etc. So you'll need a bunch of coin to do that.
Yeah, we need coin to level up the crew. That I think is probably that one's big.
Yeah, I think so. And sorry, we just have to give him 1 coin?
Or I start a clock.
Or not.
I'm okay with giving him a coin.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 coin goes to Skurlock.
Yeah, 1 coin goes to Skurlock. Right.
Okay, too easy. The next part of downtime is heat. When the heat track fills on your crew sheet, you increase your wanted level. And a wanted level could mean someone goes to prison. So the options here are 0 heat, smooth, quiet, low exposure. 2 heat, contained, standard exposure. 4 heat, loud and chaotic, high exposure. 6 heat, wild, devastating exposure. You also get +1 heat if the target was high profile or well connected. If the situation happened on hostile turf, you are at war with another faction. You also get 2 heat if someone was killed. I think we're starting at a baseline of 0 heat here. This was pretty low exposure, but I am gonna say +1 heat for high profile target.
Yeah.
That was the church. So +1 heat for that. And then the last thing we're going to do before we get the heck out of here is our entanglements roll. So the way the entanglements roll works is I roll 1 die per your wanted level. Right now your wanted level is 0, which means I roll 2 die and take the lower number. I compare it to a chart I have here, and these are the outcomes that happen after your score. Okay, so I'm going to make a little fortune roll here. Number of dice is 2. We're going to take the lower option here. Lower option is 2. You have 0 to 3 heat on 1 to 3 on this situation here. We rolled gang trouble or usual suspects. So you guys get to choose. Sometimes I choose. Gang trouble. Your gang or cohort causes trouble. Lose rep equal to tier +1, and then make an example of one gang member or face reprisals. The other one is usual suspects. Blue coats grab someone in the periphery of the crew for questioning, and that's it.
Well,
I don't think the blue coats were there, so I think it's the other one.
yeah.
But the blue coats are everywhere. They're all over the place. But you, at least one of your contacts was used.
Yeah.
Attican was used. Who else is?
Grace.
Grace was used.
And Satyr's Chicky.
I don't. That's true. That is true.
Is that a contact or who?
She's not an actual contact, but it does say someone in the periphery of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I mean, usual suspects, I think, makes it like, why would we take? I just think narratively, usual suspects makes more sense than taking extra heat, since we were pretty quiet about the whole thing. But I don't know.
The other one's not heat. Your gang causes a ruckus, and you lose reputation equal to your tier +1, which means you lose 1 reputation, and then you need to make an example of one of the gang members or face reprisals from whoever they pissed off.
Okay, so when you say gang members, does that mean our cohorts?
Yep.
Okay.
But this isn't specific to the score, right? This is just what
Correct.
happens.
This is just the thing that happens afterwards.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, you're criminals. this
I don't
is
know.
just.
I don't know that we want to lose reputation.
No, I don't really want to lose reputation, but if it doesn't have to do with the score, then technically the blue coats grabbing someone, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, what is
They're
the
not grabbing for anything, right?
what's
So-
Yeah, but they're not.
for-
But
yeah,
they're not grabbing. Like they're not. The blue coat isn't grabbing one of the cohorts in connection to this crime, right?
No, it's just in connection to us. What is the cost of that, though? I don't understand the mechanical cost of that one.
Which one? The usual suspects? The one where the blue coats grab somebody?
Yeah.
So you get to choose who they grabbed, and then afterwards, I will make a roll, and based on that roll, you will gain either heat or they will take harm. The NPC will take harm, or you can pay off the cops with 1 coin, and your friend gets away scot-free.
Unless
Wow,
I,
that's
So we lose a coin or we lose rep. That's our choice, I think.
that's brutal.
Well, no, you lose
Right
rep.
on the roll.
You lose rep, or you lose a coin to get your friend off scot-free. If you don't want to lose a coin, then either you will gain heat or your friend will take an ass kicking.
so it's either.
Of those choices, I think taking a little bit more heat is probably the best outcome of those things. But at that point, I don't know. Maybe we just lose the 1 rep. I don't know. Wow, I don't know what I didn't. Is 1 or 2 like the worst things, or is 6 like like I don't know.
Yeah, like if you
6
roll
like
a-
2 of you die. I'm like
One through 3 are the worst things.
1 through 3. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah, you have it's disadvantage because you're so low, so it's
Well,
you roll
for
and take the lower.
disadvantage, would you have taken a higher number?
I think I think we go with one of our guys gets taken and gets the crap beat out of him.
Mhm.
That's what
Right.
I think.
All right, that works for me. I'm good.
I'll take that. I'm gonna roll fortune to see what happens. 1 die here, a 6.
Is that good or bad?
That is good. 1 to 3 means you gain 2 heat. 4 to 5 means they take level 2 harm, you gain no heat, and a 6 They hold their own, tell them nothing, and you guys get off scot-free. I do want to know who was taken.
Can we just roll a dice? Because it's either going to be Grace, Attican, or the chick.
It could be anybody, really.
It could also be like one of our cohort.
Could be your cohort. Could be Wren's contact. Could be Bo's contact. Who wants to offer up their friend?
Oh yeah, it's not in conjunction to the score.
I like the idea that it's the chickie. So, Satyr went there. Blue Coat was following Satyr.
Yeah, my enemy is a Blue Coat, right? Or my chosen nemesis. So yeah, maybe he's saw me talking to her and started harassing her. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Satyr's lady.
Now,
new tattooed lady friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my enemy is also now my ex Blue Coat partner. So
maybe it's the same person.
Maybe.
Does yours have a name? Oh no, you have Darmot. You have Darmot. That's right. They're not the same person, but that's totally fine. Don't worry, they'll be working together. That's it. That is the first 3 sections of downtime. The last phase is entanglement. So let's snap a chalk line there. And we can do our outroductions at the end, I think, right? We did the outroductions first, and then we did the after show. But we're keeping the after show in here, right? Yeah. We're keeping the whole thing together. So we'll just do the outros all the way at the very end. So let's jump into the after show. If you're watching this over on YouTube, the after show is something we do on our normally streamed shows, and the after show is exclusive to our Patreon. So if you like what you're about to see, the additional nuance of the behind the scenes aspect, jump on over to our Patreon and check that shit out. We have it for like the last, 6 years of shows. It's pretty cool. The first thing I want to do in our after show is give you guys XP. XP is not going to be every episode. XP will be every score. So if a score happens in the middle of an episode, we can do XP then. So I'm going to start with Wren. On the bottom of your sheet, Wren, the bottom left-hand corner of your sheet, you will see that it says mark XP. Every time you roll a desperate action, mark XP in the actions attribute. There were no desperate rolls. We move on. Did you address, in the course of this score, did you address a challenge with tracking or violence?
Say that word. Say what? Did I do what with tracking?
Did you address a challenge with tracking or violence in this score?
Tracking during the information phase.
Yep. That's 1 XP.
Okay.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background in the course of this score? No. Have you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas in this session? Or in this this score? No. Okay, perfect. 1 XP for you. Boom. Too easy. Let's jump over to Hawke. No desperate rolls for you. Did you address a challenge with violence or coercion?
I did. I used command when I did my info gather.
I'll take that. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
I did. I read for you that quote about what she feels about faith, about the empty vessel, and
okay.
And she also said something similar to Grace when they were role playing.
I'll take that. And did you struggle with any issues of your vice or traumas? No. So 2 XP for you is now tracked on your sheet. Bo, no desperate rolls for you. Did you address a challenge with technical skill or mayhem?
No.
No. Did you express your beliefs, drive, heritage, or background?
I don't believe you did.
Okay. And did you struggle with any vices or traumas during your session?
No.
Okay. 0 XP for Bo. That right there is the negative side. You can either have a very successful score and you came out with almost no stress, no harm, but there were no rolls and not a lot of people get to do a lot of things. So you got no XP to show for So you're either going to get your ass kicked and a bunch of XP, or or you're going to get free money. So you got a balance there. Satyr, no desperate rolls for you. Did you address a challenge with stealth or evasion?
Stealth, absolutely not. Evasion, I mean, we avoided combat. I don't know that you would call that evasion, so probably not. I don't know. That's kind of. I don't think that's the spirit of the lurk, right? So.
I'll take that. Okay, I was gonna argue for you, but I agree with you. I was gonna argue for you, but that is a solid, against. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
Well, between this one and the next one about struggle with vices, I did display his primary drive in the exchange with his tattoo friend. So I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's not close, but somewhere between those two, but definitely not both.
Okay, I think 1 XP for your drive, right?
Does she have a name so we can properly address her?
I didn't ask. My bad.
Oh,
no, she's nameless.
Okay, she was just a random person. Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't need one of the nameless words.
Not to put John on the spot here, but given the scenario, John, would you have asked for a name, or did it matter?
Maybe as a maybe if we did more of a lead-in or something, I might have thought of it. But honestly, I don't need to know her name, and she doesn't need to know mine.
There you go.
Now or in the future. Seriously,
perfect.
Or if, later.
Yeah, or if anything, he's giving her a witty nickname based on a tattoo she has or her personality. So he might refer to her in the future as Kitty or something like that.
Whatever.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or she would have given a fake name, given the clientele here. Okay, so that's 1 XP for John. And then your crew also gets its own XP.
Oh God, so much.
Why?
Oh.
Like that.
Okay. Did I accidentally click that button? I think I did. Cool. So at the end of each score, we'll mark XP for all these things. Advance the agenda of your deity or embody its precepts in action. Do we think we did that?
Well, I think Hawke did, because she at least expressed the beliefs of her faith.
Okay.
And
I'll take that.
At least in the vagueness of that statement, it was used to power the score or whatever, score roll. So
I'll take that. So that's 1 XP there. Did you contend with a challenge above your current station? Absolutely, you did.
Yes.
That's 1 XP for that. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? You did not develop a new one, and I don't think you bolstered the strange reputation. I think that was pretty cut and dry. It was a pretty clean score there. So I'm going to say no on that one.
Okay.
And then lastly, did you this one is always up for interpretation. And unfortunately, I have to be the adjudicator of this one. Did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew?
Well, the goal was we need to make money.
Okay.
The drive was to make money.
Yes, because we are dead broke and we can't do anything.
We're really broke.
I do think it is the goal, the goal of the cult, not the goal of the score.
It means to an end. Without money, we know we can't succeed. It's just
all right. There it is. That's the tie-in. That's the narrative tie-in. I'll take that. 3 XP for the crew. Okay. And just to explain here, if everyone wants to open up the Harbinger's character sheet, you will see below where it has Harbinger's, Opera House, Empty Vessel, Lord Skurlock. That's where your rep is. There's 3 rep. When that rep bar fills all the way to the right, you can then pay to increase your tier. Right now you are tier 0 with a strong hold. Once that bar fills, you can pay money to become tier 1 with a weak hold, and it goes so on and so forth. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the sheet, you will see the crew XP, the crew advancement marks. When that bar fills, when that track is what they call them, when that track fills, you can either get 2 upgrades for your lair, or crew in general, rather, or 1 special ability. So that is the point of your XP on the crew side. On your character sheets, if you look at the bottom-ish left side where it says playbook advancement, that is where the questions I ask you at the end go. When that track fills, you get to get a new special ability. And then on the right-hand side at the top, where all of your insight, prowess, and resolve are, whenever you roll a desperate action, you will mark a blade in that track. When that track fills, you get to add 1 pip to anything on your sheet, or anything on that section. So like if your resolve fills out, you can add 1 pip to any one thing in resolve.
Okay. So
that's how XP works.
So what makes a desperate roll?
The scenario.
A desperate action. So it doesn't have to be risky, right? It could be standard. But so like what?
So the categories are desperate. It's controlled is like the best position to be in. Risky,
okay.
Desperate. So desperate is you're in the worst scenario trying to do this.
Okay.
Like you're trying to steal something and all the cops are looking at you. Desperate action. You're trying to fight a gang of people and 5 of them are pointing guns at only you. Desperate action.
Okay.
Right?
So the hardest possible way you could make the situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. The worst. So position is the first one. So you're in the worst position possible. The effect is the second one. So you could be in a shitty position, but the outcome could be great. So you could be risky. You could be desperate. Great. You could be desperate. Standard.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
That is it for the XP side of the house. A little bit of bookkeeping there, but it all kind of ties into the narrative, which I think is pretty cool. Let's do our stars and wishes for our after show here. Let's start with Hawke, with G. What are your stars and wishes for episode 2?
I'll just straight out give the star to John's crit success there. John deserves a crit success, so yeah, that was good. Smooth sailing, right? Not really a star, but and I don't want to say it's a wish either. It's more like, but the downside of his crit success is that Bo and Wren didn't really get a chance to contribute anything to the score in my mind. So
Sure.
So they didn't really get a chance to get a roll to earn their XP. So I guess to get onto a wish from that is that everyone gets a chance to like do something. Because I feel like Satyr and Hawke kind of took over, and they didn't get a chance to even do a task. You know?
Valid. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a common thing for some people to not even make a roll, but I would at least like to have everyone make a roll, at least one roll in a thingy.
It is not. It is not. You had a halfway decent plan. Things went well for you, and you rolled a crit on that scenario. So it's hard to be like, okay, we're the church. Give us the thing. Something's happening. We have documentation for it. Critical success, and then go, I don't know. So like there wasn't a huge narrative to reward the crit, and the way you guys set it up, I was like, okay, he gives it to you.
Yeah. Now what?
Like what? Like that,
We're
that's
like,
it.
really? Okay.
Yeah, like they leave. Like you convinced him. You did the convincing action, and he believed you. And I'm like, well, there's not really anywhere to go from here. So like you guys can go, unless someone fucks it up in some way. I can only react to you, and on a crit, like technically speaking, in the mechanics, a crit success. So on a standard effect, all things. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. All goals happen in clocks. So like I had a clock that hadn't started yet, but it was convince the mercenaries, which was a 4-segment clock, which is the smallest clock you can have. And once that clock is filled with all 4 segments, you have convinced them. A success on a standard effect fills out 2 chunks of the 4. A crit adds +1. So technically speaking, mechanically, only 3 of the 4 segments were filled. But I didn't think that narratively it made sense to have them be like, okay, crit success, awesome, but also let me double check, which I could have done. But I feel like to honor the crit, especially like out of the gate, I just checked that last segment there. But no, that is not common. I've never seen it happen before ever. So yeah, I think whatever happens next will be very different for sure. All right, jumping from G to John. What about you? What are your stars and wishes?
I really liked well, one thing for me that was really cool was Wren describing Melissa describing the map room as part of like a tie-in, which gave us all a hook to like tie back to something cool after we did our prep work. So the pre-prep was fun. Just got to kind of really explore that. Of course, my other star, I rolled well today, which is for those of you that don't play with me normally or have not seen me play, is canonically not the thing. I roll like garbage all the time. Here's a dice pool, 14 dice, no 6s, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's always funny, always fun when I get a good roll. But I actually had the same, like, is this gonna go like this a lot where maybe not everyone kind of has an opportunity to jump in? I just think maybe there's an opportunity there for I guess had I rolled differently, then it certainly everybody would have been more involved, which makes sense. So I think that's just kind of unfortunate, but yeah. So my so my wish is definitely that as we get more roles, definitely make sure everybody gets involved. Yeah, that's my key one. But let's see. I'll start. Always love flirting with Mike, so that's always fun.
Damn it.
Gotta love that. And just a star for all 3 of you for doing the prep gather information thing that I had thought of next. So you literally went in order as like, I'm going to do that thing or something very similar, not quite that exact thing. I'm going to do that type of thing. And I was like, okay, no, they took that one. Let me pick something else. So anyway, so it ended up being very funny that we all kind of had the same thoughts. So stars to all of you for picking things that I also thought were really cool and fun. Wish. I don't know. I'm looking forward to our next score, which sounds like it's going to be actually way more complicated. So,
I'm for sure. I definitely the choice to sort of end the score where it was 100% on me. Maybe not the best choice, but is the choice I went with in the moment. And was mostly because almost everyone here has not played or played one. I think I said before, G played like 2 sessions. I think Melissa's played 1, Chris has played 1, and John, you played 0. So this is like really the first score, and the scores that you guys did play were my one shots, which were incredibly chaotic, incredibly like fast paced, and I just sort of shoved you into gunfire, essentially. So I wanted to kind of smoothly explain the rules and sort of give you a tutorial island sort of vibe for this. Not the best narrative or roleplay heavy scenario that I put you guys in, but I think everyone understands the mechanics a little bit better. So that's on me for sure. But the next one will be much more complicated, I promise you. And we get a new spoilers. We get a new player and character. All right. That being said, let's jump on over to
A
Melissa.
new member that's joining the flock.
Yeah.
A new sheep. I mean, a new worshiper.
Yeah.
Melissa, what about you? What are your stars and wishes?
I think stars to Mike for another really excellent NPC in creepy girl Grace. Very creepy.
She's so lovely.
She's
A
so
tiny terror.
lovely.
Mhm.
Love her. And then stars to John and to G for the scenes where they interacted during information collection. I thought there was some really fun nuances in there, like with John. The flirtation. But what I particularly liked was at one point you're talking to the person and you're pointing out that we have a relationship with the sisters, and you said myself and my associates, but then like you paused before saying my associates, and then you laughed after saying my associates, and I just thought that was really fun nuance. And then with G, I loved the response to, does your cult like to flagellate? And you were like, well, personally, no. I thought that was good. So very cool interactions in both cases. I really love those characters. I think Chris and I were both kind of in the same situation throughout this game, in that, first of all, we're both less of the talker face kind of characters and more of the doer. And then also we were in the same position in the actual game part, or the sorry, what do you call it? Score. We're in the same position in the score. But I will say that I did appreciate Chris as a player jumping in on information collection, when the rest of us were all hesitating going in there. I think there's like a measure of courage to do the first thing when you don't know what the mechanics are. You've never done this before. So that was super cool. I also appreciated that Chris went in heavy. That's absolutely correct thing to do for his character. That's the way I see his character. So that was cool. And yeah, that's all my stars. I don't know if I have wishes as much as commentary on the game and things that I need to figure out. And that is, so the score went super fast, and I don't think that that's going to be repeated. But I don't think that there was, as a more doer, there wasn't like a lot of opportunity to interact with the world as the character. It's more like there was a lot of opportunity to make decisions as a player for your character, right? So what I need to figure out is Satyr and Hawke had these really cool character interactions. As a person who doesn't speak much and who does things instead, then I guess instead of saying I go down to the harbor, I would actually describe being in the harbor, right? Like, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. You follow what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I'm thinking about. The other thing that I'm thinking about is like, how do in these mechanics, which are super different, how do the characters have more opportunities to interact with one another, and how do we build a story as characters, right? Because it's like, okay, all right. So
so there is a phase called downtime, which is what's next. And downtime. Oh, sorry. The final phase of downtime is the downtime activity. This is both an individual and then sort of subsequently a together. So on your downtime activity, you each have 2 actions. Typically, they are spent indulging in your vice to lower stress, or visiting a physician to reduce the amount of harm done to your body. But they can also be spent, like for Chris's case, Bo can make shit. So you can start a long-term project to make a thing, and then you roll to make the thing. You could also spend your time trying to gain other contacts, or a one-use friend, right? A one-use ally, or a one-use, like maybe you want to get a carriage So you want to get an asset and have a carriage for one use. You can do that. So you spend your actions to do that. And then after that, and also like during, that's entirely up to you guys, so how you roleplay that. But after that is exactly how the first episode started. So between downtime and the next score, there is no phase, and it's on you guys. So you guys finding the next job is where a lot of like the interpersonal roleplay stuff happens, at least in my experience. So once you do your downtime actions, which can be very like, I do this, check the box, right? We can do it that way. But I imagine that's not how it will go. I imagine there'll be a lot more roleplay to that. But then once that activity is over, there is no activity until the start of the next score. So whatever you guys do in that window, I'm here to respond to whatever you guys do. There's no track. There's no like, railroad track for that part. So after downtime activities, you're still in downtime until the next score starts. So you can go talk to all your friends. You can talk to each other. You can describe your the various other rooms in your opera house. Anything you want to do in that is probably where the biggest like character building, character arc stuff happens, I think. But then there's also like for Wren. Your vice purveyor, I believe, is a woman of the clergy. And so if you want to go and I wouldn't mechanically indulge in your vice because something bad will happen. But if you want to go talk, she's still a contact. Your vice purveyor is still a contact. You can still go talk to them. And you can have a whole little conversation about your faith and that kind of thing. So I think, really downtime is probably like the most like casual inter-party, inter-NPC situation. Well, obviously in a score, you can still have like witty banter and shit like that. And as we saw, like there was some development with Hawke's NPC and with Satyr's like personality in regards to companions. And I will say the other mechanic of the game, which is I think kind of cool, but will also sort of force you to do exactly what you're saying, is on a 6 or higher, you have full narrative control. You succeeded. I step back. I do nothing. On a 4 and a 5, you succeed, but with a consequence. So normally I will either describe the consequence or like amend your roleplay, but I give you the consequence and then you describe what happens. So I could just be like, that guy punches you in the face. That's your consequence. And then you can just describe the whole scene, as long as you've included the consequence. Only on a 1 through 3 do I have full narrative control of what happened. So I'm the opposite end of the spectrum on that. So like, had you succeeded on the role of the docs, I could have told you the information and you can just role play the whole thing. You can describe the whole world, how you got that information. Unfortunately, you didn't get information. So we couldn't have that additional. I guess you could have. I guess you could have described like how you didn't get the information. Right. Would be an option.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to do this, but just as a thought, I think there's potentially a role play opportunity for that information collection. Basically a scene where we are in front of the map and we're discussing what we're going to do, as opposed to just like we just kind of scatter and go do a thing and then we come back. Like, so I think there's maybe an opportunity there to be like, I know we're not supposed to do a bunch of planning, but to me, that's not exactly planning. That's still the same thing saying, hey, I'm going to go do this thing, but we get an opportunity to do that in character. And then if the actual investigation part is not, I don't know, doesn't go well or fails, we can maybe gloss over some of that. But
I'm 100% on board for that. I'm on board for planning your gather information, just not a reconvening of like, here's what I found. How do we do the job? Right. That's the point I think the mechanics try to avoid.
Not a plan after the information, just like just an opportunity, because we're going to narrate what we're doing anyway. But if we have a chance to talk about it, we can also maybe not overlap in a good way too. So.
There's the decision for assault, occult, deception, social, stealth, transport. That decision.
Yeah, I like that.
So it doesn't have to be it's a balancing act because it's very easy to go into let's make a whole plan.
Yeah.
But you could have a small scene, and it would need to be a small scene where, all right, what do we want to do? How do we want to approach it? Are we going to go in guns blazing? But what about, and that discussion to make that decision, as long as it's not, let's make a whole plan. It'll be a balancing act. But that's another theme.
I think to piggyback off that, right, is you don't have the role play scene of figuring out what the plan is, but you have that like Ocean's 11, right? Like that, like, you know, the sort of like, you know, crime heist movies that this is sort of basing off of, right? Is you have, once you've decided, okay, we're gonna do a what the hell is it today? The deception. We're gonna do deception. We're gonna be our entry point is we're disguised as the clergy, and we're gonna meet them up, right? Is you have that one scene from like every British heist movie that's like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna go in dressed as the clergy. You're gonna punch that guy, steal that thing, and we're gonna get out of there. And like that's the one scene, and then we shoot right into the moment.
Yeah, because in the movie they don't sit there and describe the entire plan. They just like, yeah.
Did we get Chris stars and wishes?
What's that? We haven't finished Melissa, actually. I think what we want to avoid is that scene. As much as this game references Ocean's 11, what we want to avoid is that scene where like they've gathered all of Ocean's 11 and they're like, okay, this is the vault. It has all these security measures. We're gonna rappel down. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna go in the tunnel. This guy's gonna do this. You're gonna be a bouncer. You're gonna be, where they explain everyone's job, and then you're like, okay, well that was basically the movie. And we're only in the opening act, so cool. I think that's what they try to avoid with this. But Melissa, did you
more
have
like leverage
or leverage? Yeah,
it should be more like leverage, where you see them in the act and they go, "Well, how did you get here? Let's."
That's exactly the mentality. That's where the flashbacks come in. That's 100% what they're trying to get, but not everyone's watched Leverage.
You haven't seen Leverage? Go watch it. It's great. It's really
great.
Cheesy TV.
100%. All mediocre acting at best. Melissa, any further wishes from you?
Nope, that's it.
Great. Chris, what about you? Stars and wishes.
My main star goes to Melissa for the whole Wren sitting and setting up the exactly like Mike described, little carved figurines of her depiction of each person and moving them around the map as to where they go. Setting up the idea that she comes back, chalkboard, scratching on names. Really, really like that. It was a great tie-in, and it's a bit of exactly like you were, I think, aiming for, Melissa, where you're describing all the actions of Wren rather than what Wren says, and I really, really like that. My other star goes to John for an amazing role, just to nail off a scene. I thought that was fantastic. I do get G's view of it's difficult because not everyone got to do a role, but at the same time, for me as the player, that felt narratively right for Bo. He wouldn't do anything unless something happened to make him do something. Plan went ahead, he walked off. So as a player, I'm totally fine with it. Worked out exactly as Bo would have wanted. Wishes, I even wrote it down, is downtime. I'm looking forward to the next session where it is downtime and what characters are doing outside of a score, prepping for the next score. That is the wish and what I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah.
I just want to specify regarding what I said about you guys not making a role. You guys also didn't get to describe anything about your character at all. Like Satyr described what he was wearing and stuff like that, and so did Hawke.
That's true.
But you guys didn't get any input for your character, so that's also what I am referring to. That
is true. That's on me. That's a GM a GM moment. So I'll take that. Stars for me. I have to copy Chris. Honestly, the crit was great. Love that, but my star absolutely goes to Melissa. I don't know if this is your goal, right? Like I kind of understand your goal of like description through or like character portrayal through description of interaction with the world. I think is very cool. I don't know what you did was what you're trying to do, but what you did in my head was you described a lot about your character, about who they are, with a simple action. So like, I think the fact that there are carved totems, right, shows that Wren carves totems, which is just like the baseline, simple. Wren is the kind of person who carves totems. That has a little bit more significance. Why does Wren carve totems? Now we have a question. Is this a religious thing? Is this a soldier thing? Is this just a hunter in the woods out of boredom thing? Like now there's questions about the past of this person. Wren didn't ask for input on these totems. These must be Wren's interpretations of these people. Why does Wren think of these people as this thing? Right? Like, I mean, obviously we kind of get like there's the initial like Satyr is his name, goat is the icon, right? Like we get the hawk, bird, like all those things. You know, Wren has the dog, is the dog, right? Kind of thing. Those all made sense. Bo is big, has fists, can punch. Those all make sense on surface level, but like there could be more reasons, right? Could be more subtlety behind that. So I don't know if that was your intention, but like when you did just a very simple Wren has these things and starts placing them on the board. It showcased a whole bunch about a character with a very simple thing that they did, in my opinion. And that subtle role play is what I'm going to call that. Is great. I love that. Big fan of the subtle role play because it's a very nuanced situation.
Because I also think that it really established Wren as the planner of the group.
Yeah.
In my mind, because it was like, oh no, I'm doing this so we can remain organized and we can know where people are at and that sort of thing. And then later, it was really Wren that said, yeah, let's do the let's do the clergy deception, like let's dress up. And it was Wren that said, yeah, let's do that. And everyone went, oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I had thrown it out as just that we could, and then Wren was like, no, we're doing that. I'm like, okay.
I think there's something to be said about a character who doesn't talk. So like when they do speak, everyone listens, kind of thing. Which I think is I don't think that was the intention you set out with Wren, but that is I am seeing that slowly play out over the 2 episodes we've had. Is that like when this person deigns to speak, everyone pays attention because they rarely do so, which I think is a very interesting character archetype as well. That's it for my stars. I'm the GM. I don't have wishes. I just want to play next time. I'm excited to get a new character in here. I'm excited to get a new player in here. I'm excited to see how the dynamic shifts and how silly it may get with our new player, which is very fun. But that is it. Let's go around, do our outros, and get the hell out of here so we can do other stuff. We'll start with G. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hello, I'm the friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. Now I know what to say for these for this outro. You can catch me for all things unMadeGaming, modding for all the regular streams, playing in all the Patreon content, including the one-shots at the end of the month and Mundus Novus at the end of the month. The Rise is concluded, but you'll catch the breakdown VOD, I'm sure, soon. And you'll catch me hopefully again soon on Atari Midnight. If not in this part, in the next part. And you'll catch me in the Discord all the time.
Oh yeah. John, over to you. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Cool. Yeah. I am John. I am Ask Why in the unMadeGaming Discord or on Discord. I guess only really other online thing. I do play with Mike, Melissa, and G in Mundus Novus as well, where I, like I said, canonically roll like crap. Beyond that, haven't really been doing too much online lately. So really just occasionally dropping in and out of the Discord. So
hell yeah. Melissa, same questions. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
You can find me around unMadeGaming as Draftier, and my website is gameswithstories.com, where I'll probably be making a whole lot of Atari Midnight fan art for the next couple of months.
Love it. I'd like to see your brain fight over new character, must draw art, old favorite, must draw art.
Yes.
So
it is a problem.
It's a war. Yeah. I can't wait to see what comes out of that. I'm very excited. Chris, last but not least, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Chris aka Necro. You can find me in the Patreon one-shots, the Patreon campaign, when it happens again. And that's it. Discord. Nowhere else.
Hell freaking yeah. That's it from us, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the sneak peek of the after show, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, let us know in the comments down below. If you didn't, shut up. Yeah.
Pretend.
No.
Just pretend.
Yeah, just pretend you liked it. Hit the like button anyway. Actually, a dislike is just the same. Does the same thing for the channel. But that's it from us. We will see you guys next time. So from all of us to you guys, bye.
See you later.